Alright y'all, what's up? So in this video I'm going to attempt to show you how to do a crankshaft, both crankshaft position sensors in a 2003 Cadillac STS. This does have the notorious, infamous Northstar engine, 4.6. So right here what you see me doing is taking the bolts out of the oil filter adapter housing thing. So that's where your oil filter actually screws to the motor. You'll see right there, that's where your oil filter usually is. So the first thing you want to do is take your oil filter off. You don't have to drain your oil. You simply have to take the oil filter off and just, you know, set it to the side somewhere. And then you'll be able to get to this bolt right here. If I'm not mistaken, this bolt was a 13. For whatever reason, it seems like GM loves 13s, 15s, 10s, and every now and again they'll throw a 12 in there. But most stuff on these cars seems to be the same size sockets. So it's a little slippery in there, it's a little oily in there, but anyway, just work and get that bolt out. Right there, I was just kind of using the socket to finish unscrewing that last bolt out. So right here I have the bolt. I got the first one out. There are 3 bolts in this housing. There's one up a little higher. This is the one that's up higher. I would say the first one is the easiest one to get to. This one's probably the hardest one to get to, but you can get to it. This job was not the easiest job in the world, but it was by no means, it wasn't very difficult. It was just kind of tedious. You just have to kind of just take your time. You have to kind of reach around some things, reach around the subframe, and you know, there's room enough to get your hands in there. If your hands aren't too big, you can get them in there, but yeah, just take your time. This bolt is the same size as the other one. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's a 13. I'm pretty sure that's what that was. So yeah, you just want to loosen that out. I probably should have sped this up, really, to be honest. But also, filming this was not that easy either. I don't have a lift. If I had a lift, filming under the car would be so easy, but when you don't have a lift and you're like, the car is, you know, a foot and a half from the ground and you're under there and the light's under there and all this stuff, it's so much easier to do this without filming. But hey, it is what it is. Oh, drop the socket. The struggle is real. I think on this one it was better for me to use a deep socket because it was just easier for me to get to. You might could use an extension, but I found the deep socket just worked better for getting this one. You had to kind of work around that wiring harness. I think that's the wiring harness for O2 sensor or something. Alright, so I think right there I had unscrewed it enough and got the I got the other one out. So this is the last one. On this one, I had to use a ratchet that has you know, the head flexes on it, because and it has a shorter handle as well. It was just easier to get that ratchet in there and flex the handle out of the way. So that's what I used. But same size socket though. I'm trying to read it as it goes past. Yeah, 13. I don't know if y'all can see that. Can you see it right there? The 13. Alright, last little bit of getting this bolt out. You can see the whole filter housing is moving, so you can tell that that's the last bolt that needs to come out. Uh-oh, I bumped the camera, I think. Trying to get the camera positioned properly. This bolt apparently was very long. I should have sped this up. Alright, right here I'm just getting a twisting of the last little bit by hand. There's the bolt. The housing itself is loose. You'll see a little oil come out. You're not going to have a lot of oil come out, but just a little bit. My glove got ripped, so I took it off. That's what the bottom of it looks like. A little bit of dirt in there. But that cavity, that doesn't go to any oil passages, so it doesn't matter. But I ended up cleaning this off before I put it back up there. But look at all the dirt that was on the outside of it. just like road crime and stuff. But anyway, so there's an electrical connection that connects the oil pressure switch. You can access the little clip right in that hole. That's right in that. That's a motor mount right there. And then I unclipped it, but yeah, you couldn't really see anything. But anyway, there are your crank position sensors right there. So you want to unplug them first. So that's the bottom one. That's the black one. The one with the black connector and it's the black sensor. So you want to unplug that, and then there's one bolt that goes to it. You want to use a fairly stubby ratchet, and you can get on that bolt, and then take that bolt out. And really, once you kind of get it started, it actually comes out fairly easily. Once you get it broke loose, it comes out fairly easily. I finished taking the bolt out off camera because it was hard to see, and my glove ripped again, and so you have to wiggle it a little bit. You'll see that O-ring there kind of holds it in, but once you wiggle it, it'll come out. And really, that's why I'm making this video. A lot of people was showing, like telling you what to do, but nobody actually kind of showed you. So I wanted to show the steps, and I get it, it's hard to film. Right above that, you'll have the gray one. So you'll see me unplug the gray one here. You want to press, there's a tab that you press, it's on top. The black one was on bottom, you could see me press it, but the tab for this one is on the top. So you'd press it. I was pressing it with my index finger, and then you wiggle it and it comes out. And same thing, there's a bolt. I don't know if you can see that bolt right up there to the left of where the connector was plugged in. Right, you can kind of see the head of it right there. You'll see where I put the socket on at. So I think those are 10s, if I'm not mistaken. Then you just put it on, break it loose, and then go ahead and take that bolt out. Once you break it loose, you can pretty much get it by hand the rest of the way, because that's one of those bolts that is, you know, it's pretty easy to get out. And I think that's what I ended up doing. I ended up just unscrewing the bolt the rest of the way by hand, I think, because it was so easy to do. Yeah, and you'll just see it real time here to see that it doesn't take that long to get it out. So you see me there unscrewing and unscrewing and unscrewing and unscrewing. And I did it that way because it was just simply easier for me than just ratcheting 1/4 a turn at a time or half a turn at a time. So there, the bolt came out right there. I turned the sensor some. Now this O-ring was holding this one in a little bit better, but if you turn it some, you can kind of get purchase on the little tab part, and then you can pull it out, and then that one came right out. So here's me going back up in with the new one. I know it doesn't look like it. I put some oil on the O-ring, so that oiliness you see is a little bit of oil. That's just to help that O-ring go in and seat a little bit easier, since that's a new fresh O-ring. It should, you see it took a little bit of resistance, but it'll pop right in place. Then once you pop it in place, you can spin the little tab where the bolt hole goes through. Get your bolt started. You see I got the bolt in there, and then I'm gonna go in with the ratchet. And yeah, I should have put another glove on, but I'm be honest, I ran out of gloves. I think I ran out of gloves, or I was about to run out of gloves, either way. But I got it started, and then I used the ratchet to get it up in there. I was struggling right here, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna turn the camera off. So I didn't show finish, you know, putting that bolt all the way in. I have the bolt in now. I'm gonna plug that in. So plug that in, and then I'm gonna put the black one back in its corresponding hole, which is right below it, right there where my finger was. So I'm just really trying to tuck that wiring plug out of the way. So just so it's out of the way, so I can put that crankshaft position sensor up in there without having to worry with fussing with that plug. And I just like tucked it behind the engine mount or something. So I think I had to like go put oil on the O-ring of the crankshaft position sensor before I popped it in place. Alright, so there's the black one. We'll pop it in place, spin the bolt to where it's supposed to go. I mean the little ear where the bolt goes through and holds it in place, holds it in. Then I think I was looking for the bolt. It was on the ground somewhere. And then found it. So then take your bolt and put it back where it's supposed to go. And I think right here, yeah, I clearly was trying to get the bolt in and didn't care where I was aiming the camera. But pretty much from here on out, you're going to tighten that bolt, and then you are going to yeah, I got it in there then. So you're going to tighten that, and then naturally you're going to plug the plug in. So you guys will see me do that part. The most finicky part of this going back together is actually plugging in that oil pressure sensor, the electrical connector. It's kind of hard to plug it in because you kind of have to do it blind. That was the hardest part. But once you get it plugged back in, put your adapter back on, because I don't think I filmed putting the adapter back on. I think my camera died, but it's just the reverse of removing it. Put the 3 bolts back in, and then you want to put your oil filter back on. If you're going to change your oil or get a new filter, then do that if you're going to do it while you're doing this. But yeah, this job wasn't that hard, and I hope this video helped somebody, because I watched plenty of these videos and nobody really showed it. They showed where they were, but nobody ever really showed what you had to go through to actually do it. They would show the stuff already taken off and all this kind of stuff. So I'm trying to help people out, for those that actually want to see the steps. May not be the best film quality or whatever, but it's better than nothing. So I hope somebody appreciates my time going through this. You just see me finishing up, tightening up that bolt, you can kind of see it through the hole of that motor mount. Tightening up that last bolt for that black crankshaft position sensor, and you see me snugging it up right there. And then I think I'm going to show you plugging in the wire, and I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, to put your oil filter housing back on, adapter housing, reverse of removal, put the 3 bolts back in, and put your oil filter back on. That's pretty much it. So till next time, see you guys later. Oh, and thanks for watching. I appreciate y'all.